Hello, Macomber brass people, the brass family, I don't even know. Welcome back. You are watching The Commute with Macomber Brass. I'm on my way back from Centennial High School today. I was working with their horns. I've been there for a little over a year now. And today was kind of a weird day for us. We were in the wind ensemble. We were a lot more timid than we normally were. Long weekend. Oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to talk about today. Start at 1:20. Welcome back to The Commute. This is Macomber Brass here. I'm on my way back from Centennial High School. It's a school I've been working at for about a year now. I do French horn sectionals there and French horn lessons for the classes that have one kid in them. And something happened today in the top group that is sparking this topic in The Commute. And I've done a similar topic before, but I think it's important to address this side of that same topic because it is the true antithesis of confidence and is the enemy not just of brass playing or musicianship, but of life. So let me tell you what that was. Oh, G-Wagon. So let me tell you what that scenario was. I'm sitting in with the horn section. We're doing full ensemble stuff. I'm focusing on balance with the rest of the ensemble because they're getting ready for their performance evaluation, and they were just making a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes. And those uncharacteristic mistakes were causing them, as well as many other members of the ensemble, to be timid, which created more mistakes, which created more timidity, which created more mistakes. And that's the topic. Today is timidity. A lack of assertiveness, a lack of confidence, a weak approach to playing or to rehearsal. I think that's a better way to say it, is a weak approach to rehearsal. And it's important to distinguish the difference between a bad day and a problem. And today was a bad day for them. It was not their best day. But it wasn't a problem. It was an issue that needed to be quickly put back into their mind that, hey, we can do better than that, we have done better than that, and then they would. That's just a bad day or an off moment. That can happen to anybody. It happens to me. It happens to people I march with. It's happened to me as a teacher. It's happened to my colleagues as teachers. We're human beings. We have days. But teaching brass, teaching any music in general, it becomes, how good can you be on your worst day? Because nobody's at their best all the time. But on your worst day, if you come in, you feel down, you really don't feel good, but you can come in there and you can still play your part, and the ensemble still sounds good, you're gonna have a better day after you go to band class, or you go to your ensemble rehearsals if you're a collegiate musician watching this, or if you're a professional, an educator, or a player like myself. Having a good rehearsal always brings the mood up. You instantly want to go out, you want to go get food with your bandmates, your orchestra mates, whatever the case may be. If you're in block during a drum corps season or marching band season and you're having a great rehearsal, everybody leaves that block and goes to whatever meal break it is, or they leave that rehearsal after school feeling great, and they're like, man, the momentum and all that. But then there's this thing that gets in the way, and that's timidity. It can come from 3 places. The first place, a lack of knowledge. You have never seen this music before. Number 2, a lack of preparation. You've seen this music before, but it's not prepared enough. Number 3, and the root of the first 2, a lack of confidence in yourself as a musician. And I've talked about confidence, 1,001 times, and it's become and I really think always has been, now that I'm thinking about it, the backbone of my philosophy and my approach to education. I don't care, especially when we're sight reading, we're trying something new. I don't care if my students mess up. We're not robots. We're not AI. We don't just notch it. We're human beings and we have to learn the skill. So when I'm teaching my kids a new skill, I see their first instinct is kind of cave in a little bit. They don't sit up or stand up as tall. They kind of their elbows get tucked in. The hand positioning in the horn changes. The horn angles drop because they're feeling scared, Something that I've been working on too in real life is I'm done being scared of messing up. Because the alternative is much worse. Being scared to talk to a camera like this means that somebody might not ever make a video. Somebody might not ever get to speak their mind on something. Somebody might not get to explain something to people, especially when it's something that they're very passionate about. So it bleeds over into life a lot. Timidity. You shy away from something because you don't know much about it. Shy away from something that you shouldn't shy away from because you're not prepared for it. You shy away from something because you're not confident enough in yourself. And that is something that I desperately want to change in myself, consistently change in myself, and keep it the inverse of what I just said. And I definitely want to change it in my students, because I've had quite a few students that have been very timid coming in and come out confident, and they are amazing people once they move on out into college and the workforce and whatever they do. Because they develop confidence over their course of their time in band. And I think that it's important to understand not only that confidence exists, but that its opposite, timidity, also exists and is a very, unfortunately, very powerful force in our brains because of the way that we're designed to survive. Like, we're biologically speaking more geared towards survival, and we think about the negative a lot. But when you flip the switch, that's when you really start to thrive. And it's not just about living a day, it's about making a day. Or, getting through a block versus making a block. Getting through a concert cycle versus making and enjoying the concert cycle. Or your practice sessions or whatever. Because if you go into something, you say, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to figure it out. Or, I don't know what I'm doing, but, I'm holding an instrument that I know how to play. I just don't know this music yet. I've never heard this piece. I've never seen these notes in this order. I've never heard it in this key. Maybe it's a transcription, something like that. Then you go and you're like, oh, okay, I'm actually better at this than I thought. And then you step up to the next level of, okay, now it's time for me to be more knowledgeable about this. And that's where the second level of timidity can come in, is if you just don't do enough of it. And it doesn't take that much. All it takes is 10 minutes every single day. Of just deep focused work on something for you to consistently get better. Now, if you're in rehearsals, you've got until the next rehearsal to get it better. And when you're in college, that's like, it's got to be nails the next time. And when you're a professional, if it's not nails the first time, you get into a rehearsal, you're holding the group way back. And that's a different problem. Or for those of you who are watching this who are in a WGI Wins group, or are contracted on the horn line of a drum corps for this summer. it's video assignment season. And a lot of corps, they'll have like maybe one camp in March. And maybe a camp in April before spring training. Atlanta CV, where I march, we don't have another camp until the end of April, the last weekend. Because of the hydro wind season, it goes all the way through the third week of April, and that takes priority because they're in the middle of a competitive season, first show next week, all that. So it is completely up to us as members to prepare, submit, rework, do all of the things necessary so when we come in to camp in April, we're ahead of where we left off from camp this past weekend. And, getting to a point where you're not timid about submitting yourself playing or talking in front of a camera in today's day and age is like the first step. If you're scared of video assignments, film yourself for 10 minutes every single day playing. It doesn't matter what you're playing. Just do it to get used to having a camera in the background, Just something simple like that, and I think that would go a long way. And then you get to that little wrinkle of the lack of confidence in yourself. That's the third level of it. You kind of, in a way, this is not true all the time, but in a way you kind of have to fake it first. And that's how you attack, sight reading. You're like, I'd have never seen this, but I'm going to act like I know how to do it. Like, if you're somebody who struggles talking to people, you say, I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know what to say to people. Just say something. Because if you say something, you're going to get better at saying something. And when you get better at saying something, you say better things. But you have to start somewhere. You've got to start somewhere, no matter what you're doing with your life. I didn't know what I was doing I still don't really know what I'm doing sometimes when I post content. I'm still learning. But I'm still posting. And that's a different story entirely. Well, it's not even a different story. I don't know where I'm going with that. See? I'm still putting this video out and I just made a mistake. But these are uncut, so it's in there. We need to get past the fear of not being perfect. The fear of, if we're not the best, we're bad. Which is not true. I'm not the best teacher, but I'm not a bad teacher. I think I'm quite a good teacher. Great, even. I think I'm a great horn player. I'm not the best horn player, but I'm a great horn player. I'm not the best tuba instructor, but I have confidence in myself in front of tubas because one of my first students that I had was a tuba player, and he made the Atlanta Youth Wind Symphony after 2 months of lessons with me. And him and one of my other tuba playing students at the time marched drum corps with me. So I have confidence in myself as a tuba instructor. But if I wasn't thrown to the wolves and put in front of tubas and like trombone euphonium at a band camp my first year teaching, I wouldn't have that confidence. It became, figure it out. And when you're left to your own devices, when the pressure is on the line, that is when you find out just how confident you really can be. So if I were to wrap this up, I would say, go into everything with the confidence of a professional or an expert, even if you don't know what you're doing, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Prepare when you do. And always look at yourself as somebody that is worth listening to, working with, talking to. And I think you'll be very happy with where you wind up. And I got really philosophical and kind of deep beyond music, but that's what music's for. And there's a deeper reason behind why I teach. I've talked about that too. You can check. I think that's either the most recent before this, the previous COMMUTE video, or the one before that. But it is totally a different world when you change the way you look at yourself and your confidence level, and you remove timidity and fear of the unknown, because then you get to do cool things. You get to go to 4 different schools every week and teach band. You get to teach 2 marching bands. You get to march drum corps for 5 years. You get to do work with a WGI Wings group. You get to do all this stuff. And if I just wasn't able to put myself out there because of a fear of the unknown, I wouldn't have what I have in my professional life or otherwise. So I guess all that is to say is it's time to start believing in yourself as a musician and as a person, because you're going to have a whole lot more fun getting out there and meeting people who believe in themselves and believe in you just as much as you do.